Hi everyone, welcome to another Fireside Chat. Today we're going to be talking about head or heart. I was in a shop last week and one of the girls that's working there started talking and she said, what do you feel? Should you listen to head or heart? And I said, heart, always, always. What are your thoughts, Linda?
Well, I would agree, but there was a time when I would say head because that's what was guiding me at the time. I think I always had that inner knowing, but and I think it was because I was associating heart with emotions, and I've seen so many people follow their emotions into bad relationships or bad situations, and I thought, no, you don't follow your emotions into situations. That's where I thought the head was more powerful because the head isn't ruled by the emotions. But now I definitely see it differently.
Yeah. I thought you'd answer like that actually from the past.
Yep.
But I like listening to Sadhguru as well, and I saw a part where they're talking about God, and we're not going to go in that direction for this, but the point he was making, I agree, is ultimately when you think you know something, you don't really know it at all. Like if you think you know all there is to know in a particular area, then it's almost like you're closed off to possibilities. And I've mentioned this in other chats where I've had insight. I thought, it's not like that, it's just like that. And then within a couple of hours had another insight. So if at any point I thought, no, I know the answer, this is how it is, then you limit yourself. And I think this is the difference between head and heart. It's like the head, I feel interesting because I hadn't heard it really been put this way before, but it's like when you know nothing, or you feel you don't know everything, far from it, then you open to possibilities. You know more when you come to the understanding that you don't know much. And at that point, you know more than you could have otherwise, One's ready to expand, the other one isn't. The difference between, when you get lost in head as opposed to heart's always unraveling, unfolding, and it's intuitive and it guides my experience, where the head is just like, it's like this and it's like that. And people close themselves down to differing views, and it's a limited way. And even if it doesn't matter how intelligent you are, my experience, if you're not open to something more, if you believe you know all there is to know in anything, then it might seem like an expanding place. Well, it's not it might be an expansive place, but it's not an expanding place because there's borders and boundaries. And I feel the mind, as vast as it can be, is ultimately restrictive, where I feel it's brilliant at interpreting, as I've mentioned in the past, but the heart has limitless depths, I feel. And that's why I absolutely feel that always go with the heart and then allow the mind to interpret the desires and the drive within the heart. The mind can profoundly interpret the creativity or the formulas or whatever's needed or necessary to try and bring about your dreams. So that the mind is crucial, absolutely crucial. But I feel the spark and the potential always lies in the heart.
Yep.
I don't feel
really.
Yep.
Sorry.
You go.
I was just thinking the gut and the heart is closely related. I think a lot of people explain that instinct as the gut, but it's all connected.
Yeah. Intuition is in the gut, and the heart is one and the same, I would say. It's amazing. I was listening. You may potentially. There's a guy that. I hope I do him justice. I can't remember his name, but recently I saw this guy used to. Maybe I'll edit in his name, but
yeah.
He used to design or improve on programming, that sort of thing, say for major corporations and that, and they'd give him a program that was expected, had little flaws here and there. It'd be minimal cost. He'd just fix it up for them and get it all running smooth. And he devised, some people might know who I'm speaking about, but he devised a program, I think within 4 years, to be able to assess the emotional. He rated each emotional response.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying that no computer program can predict the future, but humans can, people can. Sense of it. So he devised some sort of program to tune into, because his philosophy is pretty amazing, from obviously intelligent guy, computer programmer type guy.
Yep.
So realized that everything is energy. He understands this. So he evaluated and measured the energetic responses and the emotional triggers based on certain keywords, and assessing patterns around the world. He could predict certain things, and this guy, I believe, predicted the Twin Towers and the crash and a number of different things.
Oh, is that Cliff High?
Yes.
Yeah.
And brilliant man. So, and I was thinking with the healing and his perspective, it's not dissimilar or opposing in any way to really the things we talk about in the healing type of. It's along the same lines in a sense, from what I could understand, and from what I heard basically in the chat. There's some of the things you've said. He said I feel it's definitely, in my experience, along the same lines for sure. So, it seemed like there was something in it that was credible. So he, rather than looking at the programming, you can look at patterns from the past and predict certain circumstances. Like if these things line up, this is going to be the outcome. We all do that. Computers can do that. But we came to potential within the human psyche, or I'll go another way. It's been measured with certain catastrophes and certain things around the world that just before something has happened, there's been a massive spike in awareness in people. And a number of people know about this. So it appears as though we built a machine to tap into this and to predict certain patterns, and where there's highs and lows, you can get a sense of what it is. And you may predict a rift in the force, so to speak, but then it's interpreting or trying to use your best guess to exactly decipher, what may or may not happen. And I feel with intuition, I don't feel it's meant to be like every step should be calculated. Like I feel intuition is just, it gives you the direction you should head in. It won't tell you every step, because if all you're looking at is what your intuition is telling you to look for, then you're going to miss so much beauty and so many things around you. So I feel it's enough to know that you're meant to be walking in a particular direction. And even if that's not the final direction, you might wind up walking the opposite direction throughout your life. It's like that initial start and going where you felt at that point in time, for everything you have access to within yourself and the connection to your emotional body, your mental body, your intuition. It's amazing. And this could be like you could say it's universal God guiding you ultimately, where whichever direction you walk in, you'll be drawn to the direction that, right or wrong, it tends to be the right one in the end. But even if you walk down a path or down a road of addictions or certain things, there's always signs, there's guilt, there's a number of things that will happen around you to try and wake you up or shake you or shock you, even if it's negative feelings within, to show that you're on the wrong track. So there's signs always. So it's just a matter, I feel it's just a matter of walking, choosing a direction, following that without thinking, is this the ultimate direction for me to head in? Because movement will give you signs. As long as you're moving, there's signs along the way to help you recalibrate your journey. And I feel that the things that we need to work on will be unraveled, discovered. They will come up along the way on the journey, whichever path you choose to walk. For example, if you go down a destructive path, if you are willing and open, that can shake you to want answers. So then you can short track to a greater path potentially. If it's a path where it's a little bit of suffering, or you're just going along with the mainstream, or you're just following with everyone else, you can get lost in the crowd. You can almost lose yourself. And I feel like walk with others if you need to, but focus more on yourself than others. I feel obviously it's different if you enjoy helping others, but I wouldn't watch too much what others are doing. I would just try and trust my intuition as much as possible.
I think there's a saying that something like if you don't listen to the whispers, you soon be listening to the shouts.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it is.
Mm.
Yeah.
I was just thinking with my intuition, like that inner knowing I had, I guess was essentially from heart, but at the time I thought that was my head. I was just thinking it's interesting how I was looking at it, because I thought I knew certain things, and I thought that was my mind telling me it was right, when it was actually my heart.
Because I feel the understanding comes from heart, but then the what I can relate to is I understood the concepts of certain spirituality and growth, and it felt right. The intuition felt right, but then the mind tries to take ownership of the intuition, and that's where it goes wrong, because it's like it has the concept, it locks it into a box. And I think this is the trap, that it's not like I feel you're better off not locking into any box. It's just like this. It feels like this, or this is how things are. I feel that is the entrapment. Is as soon as you own it, or you feel, yep, I understand this is how it is, then you've lost it.
Yeah.
That's the feeling, and that's the potential entrapment. So I feel we all intuition is intuition, truth is truth. Yeah, I feel like you cannot be contained, and once you try and contain any understanding, that limits that understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that is the big entrapment. And I knew heaps of principles, and after spending time in India, and I knew the concepts backwards, but then I went through more suffering than I've ever experienced after that. Yep. So profound. So the confusion for me was understanding the concepts, and then being detached from some things that I was feeling, and then still feeling emotional responses and still feeling certain things. I'm thinking, why am I feeling this for? Like, where's it coming from? Why? It's because I hadn't let go, and this is what you've that's really transformed within you, is that letting go.
Yeah.
And it's like all of a sudden you can breathe and everything flows better, and the understanding deepens. It's amazing how the understanding deepens once you let go.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely. Yeah. Isn't it funny how when you have an epiphany, you have something that, you just woken up to a new perspective or whatever, and then you think, this is it, I finally get it. Now I get it. And then you sit in that for a while, and then you have another breakthrough, another epiphany, and you're like, now I see. And it's funny how when you're at that new level, you think, now I get it. But then you reach the next one, no, now I get it. But it's just infinite levels of different perspectives and more depth and more insight, and I love it. It's fascinating.
Absolutely. So it's amazing as well how you have insight, and then after a very short period, it's like you believe that that's how you always thought.
Yep. So, because it feels so natural all of a sudden. It feels like it's always been that way, and you just get perfectly comfortable in it.
That's it. Once it sort of it fits, it sort of you sit with it, and it just seems to resonate. It's like, no, this is how I am. This is the truth. So you assume that's how you've always been, almost. And reflecting, I think as a child things were different, but there's no point that you can really put your finger on where, even though the insight may be fresh, you naturally. That's because it's more natural. Every time you have insight, you become more natural in a sense. You expand in a way. We're meant to be expansive. We're not meant to put in a box. We're unraveling for sure, definitely.
Yeah. Evolving.
Yeah. I feel also that there's a big difference between there's certain signs for someone that knows things on a deeper level to someone that's hasn't sunk deep enough yet. The people that have where it typically hasn't sunk deep enough, they're the ones that's doing most of the talking to start with and dominate a conversation, and are keen to speak first.
Yeah.
You know, to offer their understandings and insights, where there's a sense of urgency, like almost like so it's not forgotten. But I feel when you're sort of relaxed and there's passion's one thing, urgency is another. So the understanding will not go away if it's true understanding. That's for sure. It'll just deepen.
Yeah. I feel as well with some things with when you're on the right track. I don't know, over the last, I don't know when it started, probably a couple of years ago. I don't know, maybe 3, 4, maybe even 5 years ago. So started seeing a lot of synchronicities, and the further I come, the more synchronicity. It's to the point where it's just everywhere at the moment. Everywhere I'm looking, there's all sorts of little synchronicities and whatever. And I kind of feel like there are a bit of a marker to show that you are on the right track. I don't know, to me it seems like little guides that yes, you're going on the right track, or I don't know, that's what I feel about those sort of synchronicities.
Yeah, I feel they're there all the time, just that you as you become more aware, you just notice them more.
Yeah.
So I think I agree. I think it's just obviously as you expand, your awareness enhances. So the signs that you may have missed before, you don't miss them as often. But I feel the less resistance, definitely the more signs. Well, the more pronounced the signs are, in my experience. Actually, not even always the case. Like when I was in the middle of suffering and deeply suffering and bordering on being broken, I have some of the most profound epiphanies. But you're talking about synchronicities. I'm talking about this is more epiphanies or signs to try and get me on track. I was seeking them. So there are definitely differences. But I feel if you're on the right track, you will get a sense of epiphanies. You'll get all these synchronicities. Yeah, there's nothing greater. That's where I feel that life has more meaning. And that's where I feel that some that have the attitude that life is full of random events.
Yeah.
Me, there's no meaning in that. And I'd rather have meaning in everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Me, there's joy in meaning and understanding. And for me, any sense of meaning, there's a sense of deep purpose.
Yep.
So, and then with that, you it's humbling because there's something greater than yourself, in a sense, where I feel the other view, why would you be humbled? I guess in the insignificance of everything, to me, that's not humbling, because to know that there's something beyond yourself, and of course there has to be, and as you grow, you feel it more and more. There's nothing greater than to be humbled by something that's greater, that something that you sense and feel that's a role model or something to aspire to. And then every bit of synchronicity is almost like them speaking with you, guiding you. And that makes the journey so worthwhile. It is absolutely profound. And I feel you have to be willing to confront yourself to get more in touch with these aspects, because I absolutely feel everyone can be 100%. But you can't. Sorry.
I was just thinking, as you were saying purpose, I was just thinking that would make a really interesting chat one day about the purpose of it all.
Yeah.
Why are we here? What are we meant to achieve?
Yeah. Well, that could be unique for each being, but we can all speak from our own perspective anyway on that, of course. But
yeah, of course.
That purpose is always underlying. Like it's you and I feel, have both been seeking that purpose from a very, very young age. So, and here we are, and wherever this leads, it's exciting anyway. Even
on an individual journey, the purpose seems to evolve too. Like from when you're a child to an adult to that is always evolving too. You see deeper into the purpose. So when you might have been something completely different 20 years ago to what it is now, which it is definitely for me.
Me though, like I had no idea, like in the workforce, like none at high school. People know what they want to do. I had no clue.
Me
And then
neither.
the only thing that's been constant is the inner desire to help and do greater things within myself.
Yeah,
But that is like that calling. So the purpose that most people associate as purpose, that's sort of secondary. The purpose for me is more an inner journey, where the outer journey is secondary. Where most people, the inner one by far, a lot of people, the outer journey is by far the most important, and the rest is secondary.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never been ever sustained by the outer journey. It's only through the eyes of the inner journey that everything's enhanced. That is it for me, and I feel that's for many, how it would be for many. And the entrapment is the entertainment or the distractions of the outer journey, and it's about getting past that. And this is where intuition will help you see past that, see through that, or find that.
Yeah.
So.
No, I feel that too. I definitely feel it's a inner thing rather than outer.
Yeah. So I think when you said, it's constantly changing, you may have been talking about the outer. Since we've been speaking the whole time, the inner journey within you has been the most constant thing.
Yeah.
So you've been either waiting or working or looking or seeking for insight or for development on the inner journey,
Yeah, definitely.
So the inner and outer journey run alongside each other, and whichever one you're drawn into, I feel in this very moment is the right one for you at the time, because there is no escaping the inner journey. And not that necessarily people are escaping it, but life will make you aware of it and will challenge you and push you in a direction anyway. So I absolutely feel there's no judgments on where your passions are, and nothing wrong with succeeding, of course, in the outer journey. But I just feel anyone listening to this is obviously interested in the inner journey and the balance of things and other considerations and possibilities. So I feel like every journey is inner ultimately, and every outer journey will challenge the inner one. So you cannot ultimately avoid either, in my view. So definitely don't judge yourself on the balance of your inner and outer journey. Life is your guide, and life and intuition are your greatest guide. And I just feel get in tune with it, in touch with it as much as you can. So thanks for listening in. We'll see how we go.
Yeah.
Noises and stuff, but forward to the next one. Thanks, guys.
Yes. Thank you.